Yeah, I think it's with writers is that the fact of just getting the work. My wife for a while was a content writer. She worked for one of those mills, and she actually did quite well. She made a fairly good amount of money, had a clientele that wanted only her. But the problem was, you get tired of writing, 30 pages on Cinco de Mayo or on, whatever the subject is. But you also learn how to write, and that was one of the things that helped her. Writing anything now today isn't hard because she did 6,000 words a day, 7 days a week for 3 years for different people. Didn't get any credit for it. Wasn't her credit. But the cool thing about it was the fact that she learned how to get into the writing. Though, yeah, I agree with you. Don't do it for free. But so for you guys, what is the freelance part that you love about it? Why, is it picking up a project, or is it just for the fact of the money and for the job?
Well, for myself, it's the independence. It's money is a motivating factor, but I think that anybody that puts that as their main goal, you're not going to succeed. I mean, it's a very, very competitive business. There's a lot of people doing it, and with the modern technology, it's very easy to write stuff. Look at how many blogs are out there. I've read articles online that said, with the title, "Blogging is dead." And then you read into it, and they say, well, it's not so much that it's dead, but it's changed. Content is still king. It's not so much about, say, like SEO, search engine optimization and stuff, as opposed to backlinking, which were old methods that used to work. Now it's about what kind of content do you have? How is it different? How is it new? How is it fresh? And ultimately, how do you present it? And I think that's the key to it, is presentation. For instance, on a blog, do you just have one photo and a bunch of words? Or do you incorporate multiple photos? You may have maps, polls. Google and other search engines love things like polls, maps. All these little extra things that add to the value of the total content, I think, is what drives your success. And that's as far as online writing.
Before we go, I do have one more thing that I'd like to say. I read a book this past weekend that I want to highlight because I've been promising for quite some time to read this book, and I was very pleased with how good it was. So for all of you that haven't read it yet, Titanic Deception by Mr. John Rakestraw is a fabulous book. He and his wife co-wrote it, and I was very, very impressed. So I thought that I should...
She was more like a ghostwriter for that, really.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But I gave her credit because, she deserves it. Besides, she's my wife, and
yeah.
I have to sleep sometime. No. No, she's a fabulous writer, and these guys were marvelous. To me, the guy who writes James Bond novels is like a dream come true for any guy. And then, of course, JS over there, who actually tries to make a living at this, is amazing because, it's a hard task. It's a beautiful task. It's a wonderful task. But just remember, even Shakespeare is thought that somebody else ghostwrote all his stuff. So you can be as famous as Shakespeare, and they'll say somebody else wrote it. So, yeah, that's a tough road out there.
You never know.
Yeah. Well spoken. Well spoken.